Hey everybody, Grest here. So today we're going to talk about my favorite optics mount and some of my experience with other optics mounts over the years. Let's get started. Alrighty folks, so optics mounts for your AR style rifle or modern sporting rifle or whatever type of rifle or PCC or whatever you're trying to put an optic on, and specifically LPVOs, but this could also extend into red dots as well as more larger magnified optics and stuff like that. So first things first, before we get started, let me show you guys, I got a couple rifles here and I just want to show you guys that we are clear and safe. So this one here, nothing in the chamber, no magazine, nothing like that. And then here is the second one. All right. You might notice already kind of a little bit of a theme. I have a Geissele rifle here, and I have a second rifle that's mostly Geissele parts. Actually, the receiver set is from Spikes, but the one thing you're going to notice on both of these rifles is the fact that they do have a Geissele super precision optics mount on there. So recently I picked up, this here is the latest optics mount from the folks over at Geissele, and this is their super precision optics mount. They do come in a box. They come with a set of instructions here. So the Geissele super precision optics mounts are made from 7075 T6 high strength aluminum. They are meticulously machined. Everything that Geissele makes is top notch as far as the machining quality, the tolerances, stuff like that. And one of the things I also noticed recently with this latest Geissele mount is that they used to serialize the caps, but now they've taken the serialization off of the caps. They found that they're so precisely machined that you can interchange the caps, so they dropped that. I kind of actually miss it though, having the cap serialized, because all of my optics mounts, I do try to keep track of the cap, which side it came off of, and I will even mark those sometimes. All right, so why would I want to use a Geissele optics mount as opposed to maybe a much cheaper option or another company or something like that? Well, I'll tell you a few things. So this particular optic right here, I'll use an example. This has an Arken EP8 on there, and I was previously using the Arken mounts, and Arken mounts are not bad, but what I noticed with Arken mounts is that they are a very budget end mount, is that some lapping was required on the mount itself. So I actually have one of the optics mounts right here from Arken, and like I said, not really they're not bad mounts for what they are, but they are definitely not the quality of a Geissele mount. They did the job though. So what I mean by lapping an optics mount is that when you have a set of rings, and this can also apply to a set of rings, just a set of standalone rings, not on a one-piece mount like this, the ring concentricity between the two rings can be off slightly depending on machining. So I have a tool from Wheeler that you can use to kind of do some alignment of that, and essentially the 2 points here should point to one another. If they do not point exactly, that means that the overall machining alignment of the two rings is slightly out of spec. So with this kit from Wheeler, you can, they have a bar that you can go and lap out the two rings to kind of bring them back within spec. So one of the things I've found with the Geissele mounts is that I always check them for concentricity, but I've yet to find one that was out of spec. So that says a lot, but you're also spending, you know, sometimes 2 to 3 times more for a Geissele mount versus another manufacturer mount. So the other mounts that I do like for LPVOs is from American Defense Manufacturing, but for the most part I use the Geissele mounts more often than not. So the other thing I've had happen with some of the cheaper mount options, so this is just a cheap no-name mount. Actually, I do know where this came from, but It's a pretty cheap, like I said, not branded or anything like that, is that very oftentimes the clamping force on the optic itself, you can have issues with the screws loosening up and stuff like that. With the Geissele mounts, however, they have machined the screws in a way that, and the holes and the threading in a way that if they're torqued properly, they should be 15 to 18 inch-pounds of torque using a proper torque wrench. These caps should not loosen. Now, if you want to add thread locker to these, you can use thread locker purple. It's a low strength thread locker, which I always recommend using a slight thread locker just for that added insurance. But you should not have an issue with those things loosening up. So this particular optic right here, this is one that I did some testing on very recently. This is a Firefield optic, and the mount that it came with, although it was not too bad, I had issues with it actually loosening up on me. So I ended up, during my durability testing, I ended up bending the mount anyways. So I went ahead and just swapped it out. I happen to have a 30mm Geissele mount that I was not using at the time, so I went ahead and just swapped it out, and have had no more issues with any sort of bending or anything like that. All right, so at the end of the day, the mount you use, that's going to be a personal preference based on your budget and your experience stuff. I'm just giving you my experience. Like I said, Geissele pretty much are, if I can afford the coin, I'm going to go with a Geissele mount anytime possible, or maybe an American Defense mount. As far as regular rings, I've had very good luck with the Vortex precision rings, and also for actually a reasonably amount, EGW, Evolution Gunworks out of PA, they make very good set of rings I've used on a number of bolt actions. They're called Keystone rings, and those things are machined very, very well. I've yet to have a set of those that were out of alignment out of the box. But for LPVOs, definitely I'm using the super precision mounts from the folks over at Geissele. They do make some red dot mounts as well, but I've yet to use any of those. But I imagine, just based on my experience of the quality of these mounts, that the red dot mounts would also be very similar quality, if not the same. So anyways, that's my kind of discussion on optics mounts, what I prefer, what I use, what problems you can run into. And I do realize that a lot of people don't have some of the gauges and tools like this Wheeler scope ring gauge set. If you buy something that's higher quality from the get-go, the chance of it being out of spec is much slimmer. I'm not saying that you can't find a Geissele mount out of spec. I just personally have yet to find one. But if you buy the cheap no-name mount, I can almost guarantee you that you're going to have an issue with the rings, the machining, the quality of the screws and the hardware and stuff like that is just not going to be there. So this is a case of, buy once, cry once. Or any questions or comments on Geissele mounts in general, please put those down below. What are your preferred mounts? Is there another company? I know there's a lot of ring and mount manufacturers, Burris, Leupold, Vortex. I mean, I've used quite a few of those, and I still do from time to time. But if I can afford the coin, I'm going to go with a Geissele mount each and every time. If you're looking for stuff like this for your pew-pews, definitely check out my website. If you head over there and you use one of my affiliate links, like to Brownells, where actually I got most of the stuff you're seeing here, like the Brownells exclusive Geissele rifle, the channel does get a kickback. That is really the biggest way that you can support the channel, is by using my affiliate links anytime you guys are going to make some sort of a pickup or an acquisition for your pew-pews. So anyways, I appreciate everybody watching today's video and subscribing, and I will catch you on the next one. Y'all take care.